Okay, so to make the things easier, actually I have to use SFTP client such as WinSCP, for example, to send to phpcloud my sensitive files instead of trying to do GitHub and use GitHub to do that. It's possible, but it's very difficult. I found some blogs on this topic. The guy had exact same problem. He was using Heroku and using GitHub to push his files to Heroku, but at the same time he wanted to publish the repository on GitHub. So his question was what to do. Actually, what he was doing is he was having two different branches. One is called public and another one called production, but he couldn't figure out the easy and simple way to merge them. And I just will take advantage from the fact that phpcloud offers SFTP access and make the things easier. Otherwise, with Git solutions are very complex, really very complex solutions, and not suitable for us. What I'm gonna do right now is, after cleaning the repository in GitHub original project, I'm gonna take it again, recreate a new project in ZF2 phpcloud and work there. So my ingredients are again GitHub, but this time I will play the role of the professor, Codenvy, and ZF2. By the way, just to mention the fact that I'm not using Cloud 9 because it turns out that the SFTP access is not supported in Cloud 9, and they don't give me a chance to upload a private key, or they don't give me a chance to download my private key from Cloud 9, which is very big disadvantage, even though I love their shell and the fact I can use all the Unix commands. It's a very powerful tool, but unfortunately the lack of this private key download upload functionality doesn't allow me to use SFTP client to access my phpcloud. So that's why my choice is going back again to Codenvy. Codenvy, it's allowing me to upload my private keys to the IDE and use this private key with other applications as well. In this case, I'm gonna use WinSCP, so that's why I'm gonna work again with Codenvy. And once I have the things properly installed in my sensitive files in phpcloud, I can use Cloud 9, but for now I would prefer Codenvy. It makes sending the sensitive files easier in this case. Okay, so let's start by logging in GitHub with my professor's account. Okay, I tried already many times to make sure that what I have in GitHub works perfect. Yes, it does work perfect with phpcloud, so I'm gonna remove what I have right now in Codenvy. I'm gonna remove the application from phpcloud and recreate everything from my GitHub, because here I did clean up, and I clean it up all appearances of the sensitive file local PHP. Okay, and also htaccess, which could cause problems. So I'm gonna log in. I'm not using GitHub here in OpenID as a professor. Yep. Just a second. Too many passwords and login information. I noticed that phpcloud is extremely slow. Okay, this is what I'm gonna remove right now. I have the application anyway in GitHub. Let me make sure first that then phpcloud will load. Yeah, it does. Let me make sure I have my sensitive information, my local PHP file. Yes, I do have it. I have htaccess, I have everything. So what I'm gonna do is remove this, and also I have to remove this application from the path as well. I don't want to have on upfoc so many applications running. I will start actually by doing that. Oh, I have to log in now to the upfoc again. Okay. Gonna delete this application. Okay, let's delete everything and start from scratch. Remove this. Remove this as well. I have it on GitHub. If I did something wrong, I will redo everything. So it's not such a big deal anyway. Let me open framework Zend.com, and after that, when I finish with this, I will play the role of the student again. Learn Zend framework 2, a skeleton application, unit testing. We're missing this. We're not gonna discuss this. Modules, routing and controllers, database and modules, and styling and translation. We are not gonna do that. Okay, so now I have to wait until this is removed. Not gonna add again the keys because they haven't been changed. Let me check again. Two times Cloud9. Now I want to put everything in order. I don't need that many keys. Okay. Codenvy, Zend database. Let me make sure I'm still recording myself. Yes. Codenvy obviously will take longer. Much longer than anything else. Let me go to my USB stick, prepare myself for that. WinSCP. Yeah, I have WinSCP. Let's get prepared for that. Still deleting. Yeah, it's not easy for this software. Codenvy. Another thing to do is I'm gonna replace the readme md and other files here, just because I want to make sure that I have as less as possible conflicts, as less conflicts as possible. The conflicts are in getIgnore, in readme, in index, of course in global. We'll see that. Still deleting. Wow, it's taking really long. Config 120 commits. Application new, come on. It has a really hard time to delete it. Come on. I'll go through all the steps for creating an application. Again, I just want to be able to use appfoc as a pass, so I'm not gonna clone this from GitHub. I'm gonna create the application again, just thinking that one day probably I will use appfoc to deploy the application. Oh, it's taking way too long. Deleting item. Okay, I'm gonna pause and resume when that's finished. Okay, after waiting a while, getting strange errors. Let me show you that. It takes forever to remove the project, and when you go back, actually it throws an error. Yeah, not found. 404 not found. Object blah 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 does not exist. Okay, so whatever. Let's try to work with this. Okay, so let's start with pass. Again, appfoc applications. What is that now? That's really ridiculous. That's awful. Oh, thank you God. Now something which makes more sense. Close. project, new create project. Why I'm doing this instead of cloning? I'm doing this because at one moment I may want to deploy this application to one pass as appfork, and that's why I'm doing that. Otherwise, it's not allowing me to create deployment server on the pass. So new create project, FMI PHP application fork next, simple PHP project next. Now I want Western Europe, and I'm gonna call this I already had such application, so I'm gonna finish now. Hopefully the name is not taking. Yeah, thank you God, everything works fine. So now let's remove this, which we don't need anyway. Peg delete, tmp delete, delete webroot, readme delete, and index delete. Okay, that's it. So later I'll initialize repository and do the rest of the things. Now first initialize the repository. Bare repository, no. Okay. What I'm gonna do is I'm gonna add remotes. This is what I need. Add GitHub location git. Okay, has been added. Let's download everything first, and after that I will add Zend and take care of that. Close. But before we do that, let's see the SSH keys here. I don't have such things, so let's generate preferences, SSH keys, GitHub delete, generate new key. I'm gonna call it, I have to call it github.com because this is the host for which I'm generating this key. GitHub. Okay, let me copy the private the public key. Close. Add Codenvy. Add the key, password for my GitHub. Gonna get a message. Now GitHub and Codenvy can communicate. Let's download the project. Pull GitHub master to master. Pull. Now I'm gonna change some of the files. and push it back to GitHub. Right now I noticed that the name which I gave of the application for appfoc, actually it's taken and it's used for the name of the application in Codenvy. Okay, let's wait and see what happens now. Maybe it's better that the name is different, because Codenvy was giving me errors anyway. That's not important, because in any case this is only IDE. The most important is GitHub, where the application stays. Okay, we're waiting again. Pulling everything because I don't have files, so I will not have conflicts. Okay, so here we go, we have the project now. Let's create now the project here, the application here. Deploy application, FMI, deploy. Okay. Now let's connect to this application using the WinSCP. This is the one I want. Edit private key. This is my private key, and I will say login. It's gonna ask for my credentials. Okay. Yeah. Oops, sorry. FMI, this is the project I'm interested in. So now, gitignore is one of the files where we have conflicts. What I'm gonna do is, actually I'm gonna use the gitignore from... Oh, it's not that big. I'm gonna use the gitignore from here, from copy, go here, from phpcloud, Eclipse, blah 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 blah. I want to make it simple, so I'm gonna replace it like that. I'm gonna save it. README file, another file in which we have conflicts. I don't want these conflicts. This one, readme.md. readme.md. I don't want conflicts. Another place where we eventually can have problems is in modules, application, in the skeleton application view, not layout but application index. I don't need these conflicts either. Module, application, view, application, index, index. Copy everything and paste it here. Save this file, so eventually 3 conflicts avoided. And there will be a conflict, of course, but another one, but this one I cannot resolve here. Unfortunately, I have to keep that. But let me think, how can I make it better? Yeah, we just will remove whatever gets added there. So those are the 4 conflicts. Eventually I will not have them. Okay, so that's done now. Let me do add, commit and push to the Git first, just to make sure that everything is okay. Add. Let's wait until it's finished. In application config, of course, we'll have conflict, but there will be less conflicts now. We will have 2 conflicts. Added, git, commit, fixing, readme, db, git ignore, and index phpcloud, commit. And now what we're gonna do is remote push to the only repository we have right now, GitHub. If I lose something, we'll see now. FMI 123 commits. From 120 to 123 commits. Let's look at this. Init, merge branch, master. Okay. Merge branch master, and after that outward a minute ago. So good, so far so good. Now let's make the connection to PHP cloud here. Git, copying this repository, Codenvy, git, remotes, add, gonna call this Zent, FMI loading. Okay, GitHub and Zend. Close. Let me make sure that I have the SSH key uploaded. Yes, here it is, phpcloud. Close. We committed already to GitHub. Now let's get the application from phpcloud. Git remote pull. Zend, of course. And first let's do, of course, not pull but fetch. Git remote fetch Zend master fetch, and after that we will do git merge fetching. Okay, git merge remote Zend master merge. We will have at least 2 conflicts. Yeah, config, application config, autoload global merge, only 2 conflicts. Very good, very good. So let's resolve them. Config, application config. Here it is. Head album, and under this 2 equals we have seen we see that there is nothing from Zend master coming here, so, but we need that, so we remove and we keep album as it was in the head. The next thing is config global. Of course we don't need this repetition. We're gonna save that, and that's it. That was it. Now let me do add. Let me see something here in the branch. FMI config autoload global. I just want this one. Gonna paste it, and we have it. Okay, so save it. That's done. Now let's do add. By the way, here in public, let's look. Git ignore, it's ignoring htaccess. Htaccess here is different. Okay. And git ignore global. So what I'm gonna do here is add everything, and I'm gonna push to both, to GitHub and Zend. Git commit fixing conflicts. Commit. And we'll do remote push. We'll push to Zend and we will push to Cloud PHP as well. Push to Zend. Let's see how the application looks now. Yeah, album should give me errors. Yes, that's normal. That's okay. So let's send it back to GitHub. Push to GitHub push. Let's see how many commits we will have after that. $125 commits. Okay, let's see if my picture is gonna show up here. We'll see that. Okay, so 125 commits. Let me see the changes. Fixing conflicts, fixing readme, db ignore, blah blah. Okay, now let's copy the database script and create it here. Management, database management, manage your database. Yeah, it's there already, so I don't have to recreate it again. All I have to do is just create my local PHP file. I'm gonna show you where. Okay, it's ignored. Application, here we go. In here I have to have one local PHP file, and it's gonna be ignored because in git ignore we have these statements. I'm gonna show you my local PHP file with the different credentials, so you'll get the idea. So let me first pause, create it, show you the file, the content, and after that I will put my real credentials and we'll continue from there. Okay, so here it is, the file I'm creating right now directly on phpcloud using WinSCP. That's ZF2 client. You could use something else on Macintosh and Linux. Okay, just attract your attention on something. I just moved the DSN data source name here. DB name is the name of your container, host is the name of your container -db .my.phpcloud.com. Here you put your username for your container and here the password for your container. Of course, this is not my real password. I'm gonna change it just in a second. Let me pause, do that, and show you where the file is. Okay, so here it is, the newly created file. As I said on phpcloud, it's gonna be ignored by Git, so I'm not going to get it in my cloud Codenvy, or I'm not gonna push it to GitHub. This is the easiest way I find. Okay, so let me refresh here to see what happens. Yeah, here we go, the application works. Perfect, that's all we had to do. That was it, guys. So let me see if I have to do something else. Now we can continue developing. Fixing. Successfully pushed remote repository to Zend, and this is to FMI. Successfully pushed remote repository GitHub Wingman. We don't have here in the config, we don't have the local PHP at all. Here in public we have htaccess, but in the Git repository is not there because it gets ignored. It's included in git ignore. Let me show you. I hope so. Oh, we have htaccess, but that's easily fixed. Again, the same way with WinSCP, we can go there and change it. So I can remove it, of course. But it's not gonna be sent anyway, so I'll keep it as it is right now, and that's it. And later I will play the role of the student. So the application works. Add new album. Let me try that. Test artist. My name. Add. Edit. Edit also works. Delete. Yes. Add new album. Home page is Zen Framework 2. So that's it for now, and I will continue with the role of the student. Bye for now.